Okay, hey y'all. So I'm gonna try to get back into YouTube in a different way. So I just dropped off some items at the post office, and luckily my neighborhood library is right around the corner from that. So I went to the post office first, then went to the library, and I have a book to return because I'm just not gonna read it. I am a mood reader. I don't know how you're not a mood reader, but I don't know. I'm a mood reader, and I thought I would read Rouge. I've been looking for Rouge. I was going to buy Rouge, but I said, let me start renting books because I hate when I buy books and then they're mid or they're not that great. And I felt like, well, why did I spend that money, and why is it taking up space in my collection when that could be reserved for the 5 stars or the 4 stars? So I'm trying to utilize the local library more often. So I'm going to return that one. And then I have another book, Turn on Red, that's actually ready for me to pick up. And I'm almost done, but I'm in the middle of reading my first Frida McFadden book. I was going to read The Inmate, but that book is like not very popular, I guess. Like, I do not see it in store, and when I do, I only see one, and it's on a rare occasion. When they talk about Frida McFadden books, like, it's like The Inmate doesn't exist, and I've heard mixed reviews on that, but I still wanted to read it. And I checked this book out in my mind, I guess thinking it was The Inmate, but it's The Coworker, and I am enjoying it. I'm about 176 pages in, so I'm gonna go pick up my book that is ready for me, probably browse to see if there's any more, and then return Rouge because I'm just not in the mood for that one right now. It's a cool story. It's on my TBR list, but when will I read that? I don't know. So I'm gonna take you guys with me, and maybe I'll like this style because I started reading books as a hobby and for fun back of October 2023. I started with audiobooks, and I still love audiobooks. I feel like some books are probably better when you listen to them on audio, but then I listened to a book that I just loved so much, which was When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, which is my first book by her. And then I have her next book, No One Knows, something like that. Anyways, I have that, and I bought her book because it was a 5 out of 5 for me. I had to have the physical copy, and I just kind of started this whole, oh, now Target has book sales and Barnes & Noble, and it just kind of went out of control. So I think this next book by Geneva Rose, Where the Bodies Are, something like that. That's my last pre-order. I'm pretty sure that's going to come in at the later of this month. So anyways, needless to say, I'm at the library because that's what I should have been doing, is renting books, seeing if I like it, and if I love it, then commit it to my personal library versus just, because there's been a couple books where I'm like, why'd I even spend this? I low-key want to return it, but I was like, never mind, I'm not about to go through all that hassle. So we're going to browse. I'm going to take you with me, and yeah. Okay, y'all, so that was a pretty quick library adventure, but like I said, I am still reading The Coworker, so that's probably what I will read. I'm trying to find like a new coffee shop bonus, if it's a coffee shop and bookstore that I can look at that I haven't been to before, because there is a really nice one that's like the oldest, largest independent one. I've been there a couple of times. I only go on like Sundays or something. I think I went during the evening, but I haven't got to try their cafe food, just their drinks. So anyways, I'm not going there though. I'm going legit down the street, which I'm really happy that all my errands are near each other. But this is the book that I had on hold for me Run on Red, a thriller, a rural country road, no cell signal for miles, a terrifying game of cat and mouse. Now that I read the back, this reminds me very much of the book that I just got done reading, You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. I liked it. I felt like the ending was not predictable. Even if you kind of knew like what was going to happen, like you didn't know exactly what was going to happen. Like you did not know all the way to the end. So that was also classified as a cat and mouse with no cell phone signal in a small town. So I don't know. We'll see how I feel about this one, but I had that on hold. And then as I was browsing, I have legit looked at books by Lucy Foley a million times. I've picked many different ones up. I've put them back down. Like, I don't know what it is, but then I think I started reading the guest list a little bit, or listening to it through Libby, or is it Spotify? No, it was through Spotify. I started listening to it. I was like, okay, I think I'm going to finally read a Lucy Foley book, because it's been on my TBR. I don't know why. I don't know, but I feel like I'm in a thriller mood right now. I am also reading a romance that I hear there's drama in it, so I'm kind of living for the drama. I think that one is called Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. So that's at home. I haven't fully got into it. I kind of want to like wrap up The Coworker, but I got the guest list by Lisa Foley. So I am excited, to say the least, and it's around like a wedding and all that, and so it's kind of cool. And so it's Only for the Week, and I kind of like things that have to do with weddings right now, because I'm in the middle of planning one, and gosh, it is stressful, to say the least. So anyways, I'm excited to read this. I finally got that. So we're gonna go to a coffee shop that has books there. We're gonna check it out. So we're gonna see what's what, and yeah, I'm kind of excited because I've never been, and it's near all my errands, so that's nice. So maybe the next time I come to the library, if I like this place, I'll come back and get some grub. But hopefully they have good coffee. I'm crossing my fingers. Good coffee, good food, because it's like lunchtime for me. So let's roll. Okay, we did not go to the coffee shop, because when I got there and parked, I was like, well, let me look at the menu inside my car, so I could just have an idea of what I want. Like, I knew what kind of drink, but I was like, I am getting hungry, so let me figure out what kind of food I want. And I looked at the prices. I looked at the prices at those sandwiches. I'm just like, it's probably good, but I'm not in the mood. And then like the bookstore part of it is like very limited based on the reviews they were saying. So I'm like, actually, let me just go get a sandwich, and then I could just chill at home. But at least I got to be outside and run my little errands or whatever. So I might check out that coffee shop a different day. But I just got me some City Bites. And yeah, so the other book that I'm also reading, I just recently started to read 2 books at the same time, but I am doing like different genres. I feel like sometimes this is needed when I'm reading fantasy, because I don't know, like I was reading Ninth House, and it is really good. In my opinion, it's really good. And I started reading This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan, and I'm glad I did that, because one, I could not wait to start reading This Could Be Us, but I was still liking the Ninth House story. But sometimes you need, like, you want to read something, but you like need to like break it up a little bit. So the other book that I'm reading that I've heard really, really good things about, which for some reason Tulum has been on my mind. I don't know. Tulum has just been on my mind. So anyways, Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. Basically, like, the sister of the bride is also the ex-girlfriend of the groom, but she's secretly sleeping with the best man. That's right. So as you can tell, that's drama filled. So, but I've heard really good things about this book. I'm excited for it. And the book that I pre-ordered by Alyssa Cole that came. It was released April 16th. One of Us Knows, and I'm so excited. It's a thriller. I'm excited. I might read that next. But I am really excited for this Lucy Foley business. And I have heard good reviews on that. So yes, I'm going to utilize the library more. But no, yeah. So I don't know, guys. I feel like I want to get back into YouTube, but then I kind of don't. Like, I'm just kind of done with it, only because the type of content I was doing about my locks and my hair, like, I'm not doing that anymore. And actually, if you haven't signed up for the Resilient Lotus emails or not following on social media, that business that I own is totally changing, because if you don't know, I'm a registered nurse, and in 2020 I became board certified as a nurse coach. And what that means is I can coach the community, not just nurses. Nurses are included, but I am like an actual board certified coach, not any other coach. I'm board certified. So I had to do my hours, I had to do approved hours, approved education, and then pass the board, which I did in 2020. And I think, it's kind of like the resilient rebirth in a way. It's kind of like when you're in your 30s and you're like, dang, like your life is kind of changing. Like what you wanted at 18 or what you wanted when you were 20, it's just not the same thing. And so a lot of people do like a pivot in their 30s. And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I decided to do a resilient rebirth, and that would be where my self-care nurse coaching information is. So I will be sending emails as far as like self-care tips, like bite-sized self-care, like real life self-care, like what does self-care really mean? I had like a whole virtual event. So if you weren't able to go to that, I do have the recording, and basically it's like really deep diving on like what is self-care really? Because if you ask TikTok, if you ask social media, it's a 12-step self-care routine, and it's like your self-care can include that, but that's not all that self-care is. Self-care is a lot deeper, and sometimes it's not always pretty and it's aesthetic. But it requires a holistic view of taking care of yourself. And that's the foundation for everything. That's the foundation of how you show up in relationships, how you show up at your job, how you show up for yourself. Especially if you're like a people pleaser, or you don't want to let anyone down, or you overcommit, things of that nature. I'm your girl. So I do have coaching sessions available, but all of that is going to be at the Resilient Lotus. But essentially the Resilient Lotus had to pivot, and thus a rebirth. I haven't really felt like doing like hair care videos, because it was time for me to pivot. And I think I kind of had that feeling for the last couple of years, and I just wasn't quite sure on what that looked like or how to encompass that. So the Resilient Lotus was basically self-care for your crown, and now it's a more holistic point of view. So if you haven't bought any hair care products that you are interested in buying, or some of your favorites, I really urge you to just go ahead and snag them up now, because I am having sales. But after this month, like I'm pretty much done. I don't think I'll do any restocks unless it's like a self-care box or something like that. So yeah, the Resilient Lotus did do a pivot, and I feel a lot more aligned, and I feel a lot better doing that. But it's still kind of like scary and like nerve-wracking, because as self-care coach, like, is this just a bunch of buzzwords? You know what I mean? What does that really mean? And in this economy, like, who could afford it? But that's why I wanted to keep it affordable. I wanted to do pro bono options every season, so I can still give back to the community in that way. But reading is a part of my self-care toolbox. I really enjoy it, and it gets me off my screen. That's why I have physical books. I love audiobooks, especially if I'm like cooking or doing something. It's like listening to a juicy podcast. I don't know. So Yeah, so I'm going to read some more of The Coworker. Where is... Okay. You know, I just finished... Oh, it's up here. Duh. I need to reorganize my bookshelf and my caddy, but this is a book I was talking about earlier. The one that I've just finished is my first Geneva Rose book. And again, I couldn't guess the ending. Like, I knew something had to happen with a certain character, but I could not guess exactly how it all ended and unfolded. I'm not sure what I would give this. I guess I would give it a 3.5, a 4. I don't know. I'm still up in the air about this. I'm not too sure, but because it wasn't predictable, I think though it's kind of like a day-to-day thing, like day 1, day 2, all the way to day 11. And really it's about this woman who has a predictable life in New York and wants to vacation somewhere totally different. So from the busy city, she goes to like this small town. And I'm just thinking like an isolated small town kind of thing, to this guy that has this Airbnb situation. And you kind of question, like, who is telling the truth at all, you know? And I think what I would have liked to happen in this book is even more far-fetched. But I feel like it was a good book. I was getting a little antsy toward like midway. I'm like, okay, I don't care. He took you to the grocery store. Now this girl got attitude. I don't care. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. But I think the ending made up for that. So I enjoyed it. I would recommend if you're trying to get into thrillers, just wants something different to read. But I'm excited for her new one that's coming out later this month. I cannot wait. I think I got the signed copy, and it's like, I don't know, it's like a super special edition. I'll show you when it gets here, but yeah, so that's a little bit of an update of what's going on with this channel, maybe. Let me know seriously in the comments if you like this kind of stuff, because I love watching this kind of stuff. And I don't know, I think it might be a lot more enjoyable because there are books, especially me continuously reading books and things like that. I do want to kind of share my opinion on it. But I want to stay away from like the book talk drama. Like, I just want to read my book in peace. I don't want to be like, oh, you're reading that. Like, I just want to read my book in peace. I don't know. But I'm glad that people are getting called out on their mess, obviously. But anywho, please let me know in the comments if you would like to see more of book related content, because that's kind of my go-to hobby, that and diamond art painting. And then I wanted to give you guys an update on the Resilient Lotus, kind of like in a chill way. So